Okay, now for the same function defined by this graph, we want to solve f of x equals 1. Now, f of x equals 1, this is an equation, okay? We have y equals f of x. So f of x equals 1 means y equals 1. Find the graph point where y equals 1. Okay, well, that's pretty easy to do. Now, I do believe I am, well, I've got this nice color here. Okay, so y equals 1 along this line. Okay, so here's the line. Y equals 1. And where does that line intersect the graph? Here and here. So the line y equals 1. Intersects our graph of f of x at 2 x values. Okay, what are those x values? Well, we go ahead and draw a vertical line here. And we draw a vertical line here. And we estimate the coordinates. Well, here's 3 and here's 4, so it looks like about 3.6. And here, y is approximately, I'd say here's 7, here's 8. We're a little closer to 7 than 8. We're pretty close to halfway. I'll say y is approximately 7.4. About 3.6, and then about 7.4. So f of x equals 1 is an equation. Now, when you see equations, you're probably more used to seeing like x plus 5 equals 1, or x minus 3 squared plus 5/8 x equals 1, or something like that. You know, some complicated expression over here equals 1. Well, we have to solve those equations, but that involves algebra, and we're kind of trying to approach things more geometrically, so we have time to refresh ourselves in the algebra that we're going to need in this course. So say f of x equals 1 is an equation. That is a perfectly good equation. If you have some expression on this side and some expression on this side, it's an equation. With solutions approximate solution x 3.6 and x 7.4. Our approximate solution set. And you should be familiar with solution sets. If you are, it'll be introduced. I'm going to hold you responsible for solution sets until you see it in your textbook. Okay, so there's 3.6, 7.4. Now, at this point, you should be preparing yourself for a quiz. is going to give you 5 random points. They're going to be different than the random points in the person sitting next to you. So you're not going to be able to use theirs. Okay. And you shouldn't be doing that anyway. Okay. Ethical component to this whole thing, and you want to be ethical. And you also don't want to misrepresent what you know, because that misleads me, and then I can't teach a course the way it needs to be taught. Okay, I can't address the issues that I see if I don't see the issues. Okay. So anyhow, I give you 5 points. Should be able to estimate X when I give you Y value, estimate Y when I give you an X value, and show me what you did. Don't just write down an answer. Show me how you did it. I want to see this whole picture. Now, you're probably not going to have to do this whole picture on one quiz. Ask me something, okay? If I asked you to do the whole thing, like on a test or something, you want to be able to. Okay, so you're preparing yourself to be able to do that. Make sure that you can make up your own set of 5 points, make up your own X values and Y values to estimate, and so forth. And then you ought to be able to understand what I mean by solve f of x equals 1. And you ought to understand what I mean by find f of -3 or f of whatever I give you. That notation is essential. We do much more with function notation. We want to know this much about it at this point. So there we have it. And that's kind of a nice full circle. We've introduced functions a little bit. We understand things about graphs, which I hope you understood to start with, but hopefully you understand them even better now, if such a thing is possible. Okay, maybe understand them with absolute perfection. Okay, very good.